poster is so unsettling when everything's been black and white.
This is creepy. Oh my god, this is weird. I mean, that's obviously the Fox King.
This picture, it's very special.
Right? Different.
Just special? We're not gonna discuss this?
I kind of really like it, though.
Okay, is someone screaming?
Maybe one of the residents?
This guy seems strangely familiar to me.
You don't say. You've been treated here too.
Oh, don't be stupid. I'm serious. Take a closer look.
No.
Well?
No, it can't be. Are you telling me it's him? M.B. Davis himself?
I'm sure of it, pal. It seems the gossip was true. The eternal king of jazz.
We have the picture of him in our hotel room.
No. Poor devil.
We saw him play. Remember? Because I was like, that rodent, how does he play the trumpet?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you manage to escape, there's nothing but hills and forests for 100 miles.
Imagine how many poor lunatic ghosts must haunt those woods.
Ooh, Sonny, you're creeping me out.
Ghosts don't scare me.
We should check in first.
I don't want to! This place is
We
creepy.
should
Oh,
do
that
the
laugh
reception
was creepy
first.
as hell.
Let them know we're here.
I don't want to talk to her. Okay.
Like an angel from heaven, isn't she?
Keep it in your pants, Marty.
Half of her's still up there, I think.
That's rude.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Of all the great wild ones,
Greetings, miss.
is it really you?
Well, yes.
Yes, it really is you, the chicken police.
I'm afraid so.
Of all that's furry and plumey, that's fantastic. Oh my goodness.
Miss, we'd like to ask...
Please, don't be scared. I'm just really, really, really excited. You know, I've read every book about you and your adventures, and I even collected newspaper articles when I was a little girl.
Jesus.
Indeed.
That's creepy.
You can't imagine what an honor it is to meet you in person.
We really...
Oh God, oh God, oh God. Take a deep breath, Miranda. Take a deep breath.
Are you okay, miss?
Yes, I am. I just needed some
The person photo is just her neck.
So, dear detectives, Santino and Martin, what can I do for you?
Well, miss, we have some questions, if you don't mind.
I'd love to answer all of your questions, detectives.
Jesus. I can't get over
Wow.
the picture just being her neck.
Right? It's fantastic.
That's so messed up.
Full of hope, full of life, full of almost everything, and she's a big fan of us, unfortunately. Oh my god. Embarrassingly huge fan. Yeah, that sounds like somebody we know, doesn't it?
Say, miss, what can you tell
Me.
us about
Talking
this
about me.
The institution was standing even before the Great Meat War, and during the war, it was transformed into a military hospital. Since then, we're relentlessly working on treating injured minds under the leadership of Dr. Quetzal, the famous specialist.
Is he a lizard?
Seems pretty
Ah!
Do many people work here?
We have 32 residents and 7 nurses, including me. We also have a 3-person maintenance and cleaning staff, and, of course, the heart and soul of our institution, Dr. Quetzal himself.
I see. Now, this Dr. Quetzal, is he the director here?
Exactly. Director, scientist, researcher, patron, and doctor. And even a friend.
Quite a guy.
He certainly
Wears a lot of
is.
hats.
Yeah, quite a guy. Sounds like there's some trouble going there.
Okay, can we talk about his name, though?
Right? Sesuos Quetzalcoatl.
So who is this Dr. Quetzal exactly?
He's a world-famous
Dr.
researcher
Pretzel.
of the mind, Mr. Featherland. He published countless books in the fields of psychology and psychotherapy.
Yeah, we're talking about this in like the
What?
50s,
Unraveling
so
the mind.
Right.
It's the most crucial
Eh.
mission of the century, Mr. McChicken.
That's really good to know.
So this
His name
doctor's
is
some
Mr. McChicken.
celebrity, right? Does he usually meet other important persons?
I'm not sure I know what you mean.
Well, like Mr. Hobart Wessler, for example.
Ah, yes. That's something you should ask the doctor himself, but unfortunately, I don't think he has time right now.
He's swamped, is he?
do you
Exactly,
get
Mr.
it? Because
Featherland.
he's a snake.
He's very, very, very busy all the time.
I thought so.
Hang on, I want to look at his information.
Right.
I want to see what this doctor looks like. Yeah,
Green tree
python.
python.
Yeah. Sisuos. That's an interesting name.
Right?
It's probably another snake pun. Cold, distant, professional, and he gives me the creeps. Real polyhister? I don't know what the fuck that means.
I might look it up.
I guess that just means that he's got a lot of talents. Okay. Back to Miranda.
Now, what can you say about this, miss? Have you seen anything like it?
Of course. Our residents wear these for identification. But how did you come by it? They only wear them inside the institution.
Huh. I see.
The wristband does belong to one of our residents. But I'm afraid I'm not allowed to tell you more due to regulations.
Oh, come on, Miranda. It's us, the chicken police.
I'm sorry, I can't.
I'll give
Miranda,
you a little peck.
This case is a matter of life and death. Lives are in your hands.
All right. All right. I'll do it. Albert Wessler. The patient's name
Confirmation.
is Albert Thaddeus Wessler.
Figures. Just as we thought.
Squint.
Thank you, Miranda. We'll never forget this.
Please, don't make me blush. And don't tell anyone you heard it from me.
Oh, we won't. I promise.
Martin, Jesus Christ.
So, polyhister is, you were about right, an individual whose knowledge spans a substantial number of subjects, known to draw on complex bodies of knowledge to solve specific problems.
Interesting. Okay. Learn something new every day. Especially from the chicken police.
Because polyhister is a synonym for polymath, it says.
Okay. I guess, yeah, that makes sense. Like, just going off of the root words there.
Yeah.
So when can we talk to Mr. Wessler?
I need to ask Dr. Quetzal. Please wait here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye. Let's do some snooping.
It doesn't matter how big a star you once were. Ending up lonely and crazy in a rotting insane asylum in the middle of nowhere is like the universe restoring its balance.
That was very poetic of you, Marty. Almost deep. Careful you don't drown.
Aha.
Fuck you.
Aha. You're dumb, Marty.
Can we do anything?
Dr. Quetzal will see you. He's waiting for you in his office. Up the stairs, all the way down the hall, until the last door.
Excellent.
What a surprise. It's enough to mention Wessler's name and all the doors are open.
I wouldn't want to get mixed up in this, but do you think Albert is in danger?
Danger? What do you mean?
We haven't heard from him since he disappeared, and we're really, really worried.
I see. We don't know yet, miss, but let's hope for the best.
Great wild ones protect him.
Where is he?
Interesting.
No idea, Marty.
The smell of all that's furry. I'll never get used to it.
Well, reptiles have a disgusting body.
As he's
odor,
just sitting
Marty,
in the background.
But they feel exactly the same about us.
Exactly. Wild ones, you scared the hell out of me.
I already sensed your arrival from afar. You know, snakes have a different sense of smell, and birds used to be our prey once upon a time.
Well, yeah. Luckily, we're living in civilized times.
Lucky. Please, how can I help
He's
you,
like, I'll still eat
gentlemen?
you guys. I don't care.
I love how he was still sitting back there while he was up talking to us, too.
Your office is rather Puritan. Simple, I mean.
Ain't that the truth?
Well, yes. I can't let my mind wander from my work. I only keep what's essential in my office.
I don't know why, but I
see.
love his voice.
Makes
Right.
sense.
He's just so
Why do you have bars on your window?
elegant.
Because it's a room like all the others, and I'm just an animal too, like all our residents.
With the significant difference of you being a doctor and not a patient. Am I right?
It's not as big of a difference as you'd think.
Okay.
An isle of reason in a sea of insanity.
Insanity is such a strong word, and it's mostly an abstract idea. Where does insanity start, and how long is one not insane? Interesting questions. Am I normal, or are you? Maybe neither of us.
You see, that's something I think about a lot nowadays.
If you like, I can give you an appointment.
Pass.
Yes, honey. Don't miss it. We're already here.
Marty, clock up. A snake. I can't help it, but they make my feathers stand on end.
To be honest, gentlemen, your visit is anything but a surprise. I could even say I was expecting it.
What an introduction.
Please forgive me. I have the bad habit of immediately getting into the middle of things. How very rude of me. My name is Dr. Sessuous Quetzalcoatl.
Sessuous.
But most call me Dr. Quetzal to keep it simple.
The name is Santino Featherland, and this is my partner, Martin McChicken,
From the Predatory Division of the Clawville Police Department. Your fame is one step ahead of you.
We're used to it.
Certainly.
We have some questions about one of your patients, if you don't mind. We'd like to talk to him, if that's possible.
Please be specific, Detective.
Look, Doctor, we're too tired to play cat and mouse. Not that
Or-
snake and chicken sounds any better.
Just about to make that joke.
Just what I expected from you two detectives.
We know you know it's about Albert Wessler, Ibn Wessler's secret twin. Ever since we've said his name, all the doors have miraculously opened. That's what we call a bullseye.
Well, yes. Why should I deny it? We're talking about a rather illustrious patient here, who's also a very particular medical case.
Peculiar.
Now, that's
He said
much more
particular.
interesting. So, are you willing to talk about him?
Because Albert, regrettably, has disappeared, and you are police detectives, I have no reason not to talk to you. Of course, I'm at your service. But you must understand, I can't disclose information about my patients.
Not even if it's a matter of life and death?
Everything's a matter of life and death in here, Detective. This is a hospital, even if it's primarily for the mind, not the body.
Still, I'd like to give the impossible a try.
Please, Detective, just do your job, and I'll do mine.
Ugh. Dr. Quetzal. Okay. And we might have a bingo. Albert Wessler has disappeared from the asylum.
Uh-oh.
Cool. Let us ask you questions, shall we?
How long was Albert a resident of the institution?
For quite some time, his first symptoms surfaced in his teens.
Comma!
Depression, panic attacks, and schizophrenia.
You can hear the pause
Was he
when you
brought
speak.
here immediately after the first signs that something wasn't right?
You know, the biggest problem with an opinion on insanity is that animals are ashamed of it. That's the reason our institution stands out here in the middle of nowhere.
Because animals would rather hide what they're afraid to face.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
As far as I know, the Wessler family wasn't exceptionally wealthy.
Indeed, they were rather poor, but we offer our services gratis.
Wow. That's
Then
very nice
how
of
do
you.
sustain yourselves?
By the grace of the treasury of King Hector III, of course.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Which
My
is why
family
the
and the royal dynasty had always been on good terms.
the fucking
Mr.
creepy ass painting in
Santino.
the room.
Yeah.
What kind of a place is this exactly? I assume it wasn't built as an insane asylum.
It used to be a mansion. Construction started during the occupation in 622. Then it stood empty for almost a century.
Jeez.
Until finally it went to the crown of Clawville when Hector's great-grandfather took the throne. The rest is history.
How long have you been working here?
I've worked here for more than 30 years, but it's been in my family's possession for almost 150 years.
So if I count correctly, as soon as it went to the crown, it was seized by your family.
That's almost accurate, Mr. Featherland.
What a lovely inheritance.
Bunch of crazy people.
Tell me, Doctor, do you know Madame Zavas?
Just like everybody else, I've heard of her, but I never had the pleasure of meeting her in person. I'm sure she's
You
an
know what he reminds me of? His
interesting
voice actor? It reminds me of
Oh, you can be sure about that. I'd gladly get you two together if I had the chance.
I have to think of his name for a
Would
second.
Suit her very much.
Is that so?
As it turns out, she likes small, narrow, secret places.
Oh, I see. What a coincidence.
Ratigan from the Great Mouse Detective. That's what his voice actor reminds me of.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna check out this for a second. Professor's family has governed the mental health facility and its estate for more than 100 years. Quite a heritage, eh? Okay. We will do the interrogation next.
Dr. Quetzal's a real mystery. But I can turn that to my advantage. I just need to focus on the strangest pieces of the puzzle.
All right.
Okay.
So,
So when did
First things
Albert
first.
become a resident of your institute?
Albert and Hobart, or Ibn as you call him, arrived here almost exactly
Both
4
of them.
years ago.
Could you describe that day more specifically?
It was not long after New Year's Eve, maybe the first week of the year, if I'm not mistaken. It was sleeting that day. Wind was banging incessantly on the windows. The power was going out for short periods of time.
What was your first impression of them?
I already knew the Wessler name. I knew who they were. Or at least I knew one of them, Hobart Wessler. He was famous. Gangster, moneylender, celebrity, lover.
Albert?
He was new to me, an invisible gray ghost. The family had tried to keep his existence a secret.
Why?
Because they were ashamed of him, of course, Mr. Featherland. That's how it usually is.
What was your first impression of him?
He was silent, but observed everything that surrounded him. His eyes were constantly moving, never stopped for a second.
Was he afraid?
I wouldn't say so. It seemed to me that he wanted to move into our institution voluntarily. It looked as if he couldn't wait to be here, alone, locked up in silence and darkness.
Didn't you
Okay.
think of that as unusual?
What?
Of course I did. But who am I to judge? It was rather special treatment.
Okay. Tell me, did Ibn Wessler threaten you in any way? What kind of special treatment did Albert get? Addicted to details.
So I would probably go
Interesting.
with the special treatment then, because he's gonna want to explain everything.
Okay.
What kind of special treatment did Albert get?
You know, if an institution like ours has to accept a Wessler as a guest, there's bound to be some favoritism.
And complete secrecy, I guess.
Yes, but that's the case for all our patients, Mr. Featherland.
Of course. So in what way did he receive more than the others?
Basically, we don't admit anyone into our institution without a complete and thorough prior assessment. In the case of Albert, we put that aside.
So you didn't
Okay.
even know if he had anything wrong with him?
Initially, no. He was more of a guest than a patient.
Fair.
Interesting. How did you see Albert when you first met? How did Albert relate to you? Do you think he was a threat to others? I would say number one.
Probably, because I don't think he saw him as a threat, because he just said he was a guest more than...
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'd probably go with the first one.
How did you see Albert when you first met?
Albert was shy and reserved, like a ghost. He almost never touched anything. It was evident he was exceptionally intelligent. He measured and observed everything around him.
What else?
He was delicate and graceful, almost like a woman. Yes. He was rather feminine. He was an artist, Mr. Featherland.
That's feminine,
a
huh?
magnificent painter and
So did
rather
he
good
paint
writer,
the-
too. Sometimes I even heard him sing.
Why did he have to be locked up?
I wonder if
asked
that
the same
rip of
thing
paper is
at
part of his
first.
painting.
Yeah.
Are you telling me Albert had multiple personalities?
We found out very quickly that there was no other reason for the cause of his seizures. He had a cold and calculating personality who sometimes, especially on stormy days, took the reins over their shared mind.
He had these seizures from the beginning.
Yes, Mr. Featherland, but they started to intensify after Albert left our institution for the first time.
He did what? Left the institution? More than once?
Oh, yes, Mr. Featherland. Albert left the institution on
Huh,
several
okay.
occasions until the last time, when he failed to come back.
Quetzal's not only very observant, but he's addicted to details. I must focus on that if I want to get closer to the truth. Focus. Addicted to details.
Okay. Confused. Interesting. When and why did Albert leave the institution for the first time? You're keeping something from me, am I right? So Albert could just walk in and out? How could you let Albert leave this place? So we definitely know that he's keeping things from him because he's not gonna tell us all the details of his patients.
Right.
I think the important thing would be walking in and out because this is new information for us.
Right.
Up to this point, we thought it was kind of a permanent thing. So, I would say number 3.
Yeah.
So Albert could just walk in and out.
Far from it, Mr. Featherland. Though Mr. Hobart Wessler had appeared on many occasions and took Albert with him. At those times, he usually brought him back the same
Okay,
day,
so family
or
members
the
can
next,
check out.
at the latest.
What was the purpose of
Patience.
these outings?
Albert Wessler was working on a painting, Mr. Featherland.
Oh, yes, the painting. It's all starting to come together now.
So, you've heard about the painting.
Sure I have.
Oh, we lost 5 points for that. Okay. Did Albert tell you how he felt about the painting? Has Albert ever talked to you about Natasha? Or did Albert tell you about his relationship with his brother? These are all really good questions.
I'm leaning toward the third one.
Number 3.
Yeah.
Did Albert tell you about his relationship with his brother?
Rarely. He respected and loved his brother, but when he came to talk, he was usually angry.
Oh, why?
Fear, jealousy, frustration, rivalry, maybe all of these combined.
Another 5 points. Jeez.
So Albert left on many occasions to continue working on the painting.
Exactly, Mr. Featherland. Every time he came back, he was like a different person. But unfortunately, his seizures also multiplied and became more dangerous.
More dangerous.
Albert was hurting himself, and on one occasion, he even tried to hurt me. It was unprecedented. It seemed his confined personality
Doesn't sound like a
was
seizure.
taking over their shared
Right.
mind entirely, piece by piece.
Do you think the painting caused it?
Not the painting, Mr. Featherland.
But its subject.
Exactly. He was obsessed, right until that fateful day when he returned to us for the last time.
What exactly happened that day, Doctor?
It wasn't Hobart who brought his brother back that day, but two of his gorillas. Not literally, I mean. And Albert was in a terrible, terrible state.
What happened to him?
I don't like to talk about that, Mr. Featherland.
It could be vital to the case, Dr. Quetzal. Don't back down.
Oh, you're right. There's no use turning back now. So, Albert's tongue
Oh
was
my
torn
God.
Oh,
or cut
Jesus.
off, I don't know exactly. And he was blinded in one eye. Or rather, one of his eyes was missing entirely.
Oh, wow.
So you're saying Albert was brought back horribly mutilated?
Yes. And they didn't give any explanation as to what had happened. They simply told me it was some kind of accident.
Yeah, right.
Dr. Quetzal is cold and professional, but he's also very confused. Maybe it's cruel, but I must exploit his vulnerability if I want to learn everything about Albert. Focus, confused.
So I think the painting is a big point. So whenever that's brought up, we should focus on that too. Did you examine his wounds thoroughly? Two fellows who brought back Albert. Could you describe them? You didn't believe Albert had an accident, is that right? I'm thinking number 2 or number 3?
I was thinking number 1 because it said to exploit his vulnerability, and it starts
Oh.
off with maybe it's not easy to talk to you about it.
Yeah,
Fair.
that's a good point. Okay.
Maybe it's not easy for you to talk about it, but did you examine his wounds thoroughly?
I'm not that kind of doctor, Mr. Featherland.
Well, maybe I was
Did
wrong.
I examine his tongue was either cut out or bitten off, and his eye was gouged out. He also had several broken bones.
But there's no doubt it wasn't an accident.
I don't believe it was, Mr. Featherland.
I totally agree.
Okay, 10 points. Pull yourself together, Doctor. What was Albert's condition after the incident? Concentrate, Doctor. What do you think happened to Albert? I'm gonna go with number 2, because that's not as
Yeah.
aggressive.
Yeah.
Concentrate, Doctor. What do you think happened to Albert?
I'm sure it was Hobart. He ordered his men to mutilate poor Albert.
But why would he do that?
The painting,
Maybe
motherfucker.
Albert saw something he could accidentally reveal.
To whom? The four walls? A couple of crazies? You?
To anyone, Mr. Featherland.
I don't think it's that simple, Doctor. But thank you for your honest opinion.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
What happened then? How did Albert disappear?
A few weeks later, Hobart came to visit Albert one more time. Albert had been in terrible condition by then. We even had to transfer him to another cell, a more safe one.
What
Padded.
did Hobart do during the visit?
He didn't do anything. He just sat and watched his brother, who was in an almost vegetative state by then.
Couldn't you manage to draw anything out of him? You or Hobart?
Nothing. For a while, he was trying to signal something. Perhaps he was too afraid. And most likely his fingers had been broken
Oh my
too,
god.
so he couldn't even write.
Do you think
Wow.
Hobart could have killed Albert?
It's horrible to say it, but I'm sure of it.
How did he disappear in the end? Did someone come for him?
That's what's most eerie about it all, Mr. Featherland. He simply disappeared. His door, which only I had a key for, was open.
Did anyone see anything?
No one. We interrogated the staff, even the patients. He simply vanished off the face of the wilderness. We don't know what happened to him.
Unfortunately, I have a hunch. Thank you, Doctor. You've been a great help.
Oh, well, I'm glad I could be of help. But please, I now must attend to my work.
We understand, Doctor. Thank you.
Holy crap. Boosh! Crushed it again. Alright, so that's terrifying to think about. We're gonna call this episode with that really horrible note. And we will be back to continue on the trail of finding out what happened to Albert, what happened to that painting, and the connection with Natasha and painting it red. We'll see you in the next one.